On April 18th, the whole Glory of Team Rocket set releases in Japan. The cards from that set will be included in Destined Rivals coming to Pokemon TCG Live on May 29th. The Glory of Team Rocket will have 100 new cards, and if you couldn't already tell, Team Rocket is the main focus here. Of course, the headlining Pokemon is Team Rocket's Mewtwo EX. Unfortunately, at least right now, it seems kind of underwhelming. Before I go any further, more card reveals will happen over the next few weeks, fleshing out the Team Rocket cards we'll be getting. So while Mewtwo may seem disappointing at first, it could still receive a busted new card we don't know about yet. For now though, Mewtwo EX boasts a massive 280 hit points on a 2-prize basic, surpassing that of Blood Moon Ursa Luna, which has 260. The drawback is that you can't attack with Mewtwo unless you have 4 or more Team Rocket's Pokemon in play. That's not too horrible. I mean, Terapagos EX needs a lot more Pokemon than that in play to deal meaningful damage. The issue is that they have to be Team Rocket's Pokemon. Luckily, there exists a perfect partner in Team Rocket's Spidops, which feels like a really weird thing to say. For 2 Psychic and a Colorless, Mewtwo's attack does 160 base damage, but you can get it up to 280 by discarding 2 energy from your bench Pokemon. And Spidops' ability allows you to accelerate any energy from the discard pile directly to it. If this gives you flashbacks to Mewtwo V-Star with Xatu or Mewtwo V-Star with Lunatone Solrock, well, that's because they're eerily similar. Except the V-Star was easier to get powered up. Yes, with Mewtwo EX, you're going to have to use a combination of Spidops and Energy Switch, plus the new Team Rocket's Energy, which I think is one of the ugliest card arts in history. But like my ex-wife told me before leaving me for someone with a better personality, looks aren't everything. Only able to be attached to a Team Rocket's Pokemon, it provides 2 in any combination of Psychic and Darkness energy, so that fulfills the 2 Psychic energy requirement for Mewtwo. Use Spidops plus Energy Switch or Counter Gain and you can attack with Mewtwo. Except even if you do all of that, you can't deal more than 280 damage. Raging Bolt EX follows a very similar setup, yet it doesn't have a damage cap. So while Mewtwo is unable to one-shot Stage 2s or Mega Evolutions, Raging Bolt is laughing its way to victory because it can do 350 or 420 by discarding 5 or 6 energy. And Raging Bolt doesn't have a negative ability that prevents it from attacking. Yeah, maybe we'll get Team Rocket's Choice Band or something to help boost Mewtwo's damage, but that's more work to still do less than what Raging Bolt already does. I know power creep is a term Pokemon TCG players use in the bedroom for dirty talk, but if you print something as powerful as Raging Bolt, you have to at least try to match it a year later, right? While I'll hold off on my final judgment until we know the full set, at least right now it looks like Rocket's Mewtwo EX will be on the same level as Mewtwo V-Star and Reshiram and Zekrom Tag Team GX. Looking at the rest of Team Rocket's Pokemon revealed this week, there's Persian EX and the Porygon line. Persian has one of the wackiest attacks ever printed. But like I always say, whacking off doesn't always produce good results. And in this case, Persian will be unplayable. For a Team Rocket's energy, you look at the top 10 cards of your opponent's deck. Similar to Slowking, you get to copy the attack of one of those Pokemon. It's hilarious, just far too inconsistent. I mean, what if they're playing Badoo, Frostlass, Monkey Dory? It's useless. Maybe if we get Team Rocket's Grabber that takes a Pokemon from their hand and puts it on top of their deck, you know what? No. Outside of the meme potential, this card is terrible and I refuse to talk about it any further. Then there's Team Rocket's Porygon-Z. For a Team Rocket's energy, it does 20 damage for each Team Rocket supporter in your discard pile. Porygon 2 features the exact same attack, except it's for 3 energy, so the more likely attacker is Porygon-Z. The Stage 2 also has an ability that discards 2 cards from hand to draw you 1, essentially making it the opposite of Enzo or RTX. Now, as someone who tried to make garbage attack Porygon 2 work on stream, well, let's just say there's a reason I didn't upload a gameplay video. In your head, these types of cards can be fun, but then you just never get the damage you need, and you lose because your Porygon is only dealing 120 damage on turn 3. Will this time around be any different? Well, so far we know of 3 different Team Rocket supporters. Assuming you play 4 copies of all 3, Porygon's maxing out at 240 damage. Even if we get a Force supporter, that's a 320 damage cap, still not enough to one-shot Charizard EX. So as much as I may want this to be a thing, it's more likely that we'll have to Porygon 1 out for this. Yeah, that was terrible. I should have used a gone pun instead. I'm very sorry. Anyways, what about those supporters? They're all strong in their own right, it just depends how good the rest of Team Rocket's Pokemon are. Ariana Grande draws you up to 8 if all your Pokemon are Rocket's Pokemon. That's awesome. Sterling Archer only works if your opponent just knocked out a Team Rocket's Pokemon, then it's a Shuffle Draw 5 for you and Shuffle Draw 3 for them. Pretty good, though where Ariana is a 4 of, Archer is maybe a 1 of or 2 of. And finally, Giovanni. For the boomers out there, this is Guzma Reborn, except it only works on your Team Rocket's Pokemon. For the youngsters out there, this is Prime Catcher Reborn as a Team Rocket supporter. In a pure Rocket deck, it'll replace Boss's Orders. But again, if the Rocket's Pokemon end up as bad as Arven's, then it doesn't really matter how amazing the supporters are. And to get those supporters in your hand, we have the Team Rocket's Receiver item card. Play it, go get a Team Rocket supporter card from your deck. It's essentially a call bell that works for the entire game and will probably be a 4 of in most Rocket's decks. So far, those are all the cards we know coming in the whole Glory of Team Rocket set. I'll cover the weekly card reveals leading up to the full reveal on April 11th, so stay tuned for those. Thanks to the Elite Gamescom badges, we know that Team Rocket is also getting Murkrow, Koffing, Arbok, and Rattata. And while Destined Rivals still hasn't been officially announced by the Pokemon Company, expect that to happen in a few days, just ahead of Journey Together on Thursday. For my early thoughts on these cards, I'm whelmed. Mewtwo is the headlining card, yet it can't seem to compete with Raging Bolt. And ironically, Spidops might help out Raging Bolt more than anything else. The supporters, meanwhile, are all playable, with Ariana being quite frankly insane. But if Mewtwo doesn't get more synergy cards, this is one glory hole I won't be visiting.